Ajije, is he on the verge of securing a second career victory out here tonight in our very first?
Which to work. The Afghan saying, yes, I can. Throwing heavy leather, working for the rear naked choke. This looks deep. Oh, I think he's got it.
Martial arts in 2015. He then ended up moving to Brittany, France in 2017 to chase his dream, but guess what? MMA wasn't legalized in France then, so he found his base here in France, but he was much like many other fighters here tonight and many other French fighters in general, forced outside of the country to find that top-notch competition, and that could be a little bit of a very tough spot, but you have to sort of make your debut not in front of your hometown fans, but where you were served up to basically be a stepping stone for somebody else's hometown fighter. That was kind of a case for Kobakside, as he had his pro debut in July of 2021. It was a unanimous decision loss to Mathieu Cournard. He lost his following fight after that, but he is actually coming off of a first-round rear naked choke victory over Tito Mampuya in June of last year, and I really feel like he is starting to find his footing. We saw it in Hexagone MMA previously as well, where he ended up losing to Sofiane Belay. That was in Hexagone MMA 3, February of last year. And with that fight went the distance, but he showed sort of glimpses of greatness that I feel really came to fruition in his last fight where he got the win by submission. And once again, in the very first round, very popular here in Paris as well. And those of you who joined at the weigh-ins yesterday might have heard his slew of loyal fans cheering him on heading into this fight.
Yeah, certainly worth mentioning indeed. And you know, some people talk oftentimes about a learning curve of sorts, and those two losses to get his career underway before finding the initial W are certainly going to work and latch off of that one and try to capitalize, success, seeing what kind of solutions always Arabzai will be able to come up with out here tonight against his Georgian opponent.
Well, Parway's Arabzai, he is a true warrior, and I mean that in every sense of the word. He is a fighter in a way that many people have not had to fight. He fled Afghanistan at age 16 and slowly and in a grueling manner tried making his way to Europe. He actually spent about a year in a prison in Bulgaria for trying to get to France legally. He finally did it. He's spoken about it. He said it's like a movie. It would take too long to talk about. So maybe somebody should just write that script already, because that sounds like a fantastic story. He ended up making his way to France, and he really found his home here. And he found his groove in MMA early. He began with amateur MMA and locked up several first-round amateur finishes, and actually won the 2021 Belgian Amateur MMA Cup, and then made his move to pro in October of 2021. He ended up losing that fight, but then lined up 4 straight victories after that, 3 of those by way of finish. In his last outing, that was at Hexagone MMA 5 in Oberhausen, Germany, he went 3 grueling, tough rounds with the much more experienced Marcin Zembala, and Parway's Arabzai ended up losing a decision after that, but I truly do feel that was a learning experience, because we got to see kind of what worked and what didn't. There was a step up in competition. He didn't necessarily pull it off then, but he might just pull it off now.
Well, you have it, the respect as well between the fighters, just touching gloves there before getting down to the nitty-gritty of sorts. And an interesting life story that you were mentioning there, Sebastian, the trek all the way from Central Asia all the way over to Europe. Indeed, it feels like a Hollywood scripted movie of sorts, but that's his real life, Parwaz Arabzai. And can he, of course, build on the success he's known recently in MMA? That's another question. So like you said, coming off...
He is a pure striker. That is a testament truly to where he feels most comfortable. He has said that he feels at home when he's boxing.
Oh, check out the low kick. Pardon the interruption.
No, that was... I mean, see, that is where Kobakside is at his best, when he's mixing up his striking. We're just seeing that right here. And
that prompting an immediate response, Sebastian. That is unbelievable, the way the up-tempo has taken place here, and Arabzai trying to...
Great balance there by Kobakside. That is very, very nice takedown defense right there. And it is definitely it's a bit of a statement as well, because it's showing Arabzai that, hey, you're going to have to try harder. Because if you're Kobakside, just staying on the outside, and you can probably win this on points, if nothing else.
Arabzai, he's got to start finding a way to getting this fight to the ground.
And there you have it. It is going down to the mat, and on the mat it's going to be a different game. Kobayashi not using his tools to his advantage like moments ago when they were standing up head-to-head, and Arabzai very much more comfortable in this situation.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. As mentioned, he's a big fan of Khabib, and what is Khabib good at? Smashing on the ground. And Arabzai had said that he hopes to secure the fight of the night here at Hexagone 6. And he's just a real workhorse. I mean, I don't expect that cut really to be something that troubles him in that sense. I mean, it might give the cage side physicians a bit of a headache, but I expect Arabzai to just kind of power through it.
Looking strong here with the upper hand in this position, but once again, anything can change. Now, Sebastian, what does Nika have to do to get himself out of this predicament here?
So right now, you can see he's in a closed guard. He's locking his feet together, and that's usually more of a temporary defensive move. That's basically holding your opponent in place, but it's not good if you want to get out of this. So what he needs to do is he needs to open up the guard and push away from his opponent. Though, unfortunately now for him, he's got the cage working against him. The cage can be an ally. It can also be an enemy. In this sense, it is actually blocking his route of escape. He can kick off like he's doing out there, but you see, he can't. It was hard to get out, and now full mount position here for Arabzai. This is a great position for the Afghan fighter who now calls France home. Oof. Time just ran out there. I think the graphics
are a little bit behind. We're about 10 seconds off, ladies and gentlemen, but nevertheless, that was a great way to handle the situation for Arabzai, feeling the pressure under Kobayashi, the striking capability that he was demonstrating before, taking it to the mat, and that was a change of game plan, a change of situation in favor of the Afghani who calls France his home now.
And you can see very clearly where each of these fighters are strongest. I mean, honestly, Kobayashi might have been saved by the bell there. Another 10 seconds, it could have been over. I mean, Arabzai, he hits hard, especially in top position, especially in full mount. So very interesting now to see how Kobayashi, comes into the second round. Is he going to be a little bit more tentative? Sometimes you do see strikers who are just taken down. You see them often start to drop a little bit because they're afraid of a kick getting caught, they're afraid of exposing themselves, leaving an opening for their opponent. And for Arabzai, maybe he just needed to wake up. You see some fighters that sometimes they need to get a couple strikes, or sometimes they even need a cut. Forrest Griffin famously was one of those fighters who says that he didn't really wake up until he got hit in the face.
There you go. We'll see if it applies here in this case to Arabzai, but certainly that strike touching him. Our doctor and then the corner man there's taking care of his eye. Everything looking really smart, really good for now. Round number 2. We are back for 5 more minutes in fight number 1 here at Hexagone 6. MMA from the French capital, Paris, at the Zénith, which is an iconic location for combat sports, of course, concert hall, etc. But we're not here to talk about concerts tonight.
Perhaps just a symphony of violence here. Oh, nice entry there for Arabzai, cutting the distance once again.
And just getting right up close and personal to the Georgian fighter. It could be indeed a carnival of carnage out here tonight.
And so far, Arabzai, he's got one underhook on the right. You can see there he's got his arm underhooking his opponent's left. And that is going to help him keep his opponent in place. If you're Kobayashi, you want to get an underhook of your own so you can use that to angle out and separate.
So Arabzai using, again, the same location, the same area right there of the cage to push his opponent up against the edge of it. And we'll see how Kobayashi is able to fight his way out of it, get back in position, get some distance, and use those strong and powerful legs.
Nice job there, getting the separation that he needed.
Oh, yeah. And he is back. The Georgian getting ready to deliver some, but Arabzai right away trying to pounce and close the gap.
Arabzai's kind of finding his rhythm now. I mean, these blitzes, they might look a little bit uncontrolled, but they are doing the work. And I mean, it's exactly what he needs. It's disrupting the striking rhythm of Kobayashi.
Going for that low kick as well. Landed that one nicely on the outer thigh.
Yeah, it looked like a low kick and then jab combination there for Kobayashi. Oh. Lead hook kick as well, and expect some flashy stuff from him. Since he moved to France, he has wins in pancration, Muay Thai, MMA, and K1 kickboxing. So he's a guy who can kind of do it all. Oh,
how's that?
Spinning back elbow there as well. Just as I said, expect some flashiness from him.
There you go.
He caught Arabzai there as well, coming in. Arabzai might be a little shaken.
Yeah, he looks like he's not reacting the same way. Indeed, is that a moment where Kobayashi can capitalize on? Oh,
There's a takedown, a good sprawl there from Kobayashi. Perfect.
Good reaction there, going for the takedown, resisting that one nicely and staying in a prominent and dominant position. And Nika getting a lot of applause and support from the French crowd here in Paris.
Absolutely, the cheers raining into the cage here. And it's Kobayashi in the open guard. I can't quite see the hand positioning on the right side, but he should be able to advance. Yeah, he's in half guard now. Much better position. And luckily that cut not bleeding into the eye, impeding Arabzai's vision in any way.
And again, we're the second half here of round number 2 with a scenario similar to what we had earlier on. It is all down on the mat. That's where it's taking place. A reversal of storylines, if you will. Kobayashi now enjoying the position on top of his opponent.
You can kind of see that Kobayashi not necessarily as comfortable on the ground as Arabzai was. He passed to full mount very, very quickly, like a hot knife slicing through butter. Kobayashi, he's finding a little bit more adversity here, which is to be expected. It's not perhaps his biggest strength, but nonetheless, this is a dominant position. He is scoring points and strikes here, so definitely where he should be right now as well. Only thing I'm thinking of, he's kind of giving Arabzai a breather to sort of get his bearings back under him. He did seem a little shaken before, and if you're Arabzai, then here you can kind of hold on. You can kind of almost sacrifice this round in favor of getting your head back into the game for the third.
Exactly. We're talking about that moment earlier on. We looked a little bit shaken, but not necessarily stirred. Arabzai back on his feet, his opponent as well. And it looks like Kobayashi is just waiting for the perfect opportunity to create the ultimate combination. And it's Arabzai, in fact, moving ahead, pressing forward. Let's see which of the two can land the strike, going for the low kick for Kobayashi. And there you have the back fist landing that one in dramatic style, but the reaction from Arabzai as well, spectacular.
That is always the risk when you go for spinning attacks, because there's always a moment where you give up your back and where you don't have eye contact with your opponent. He has done a nice job at reversing the clinch position here, though he does have an underhook on his left side. But personally, I think that Kobayashi, he should disengage and continue fighting on the outside, adding up those leg kicks and switching up, going low and then high.
Let's see if he listens to you right there, Sebastian. But moving forward here, Kobayashi, the one to take down his opponent. How's that? And both men now back on the mat for the better part of 40 seconds or so before the end of round number 2.
Interesting turn of events there. It could very well be 1-1 in terms of rounds.
Yeah, I was going to ask you for your assessment on that, because obviously round number 1 in favor of Arabzai, but round number 2.
Yeah, I'd say round 2 was closer, but we did see more consistent top position from Kobayashi, and he was also the one scoring, a lot of his strikes on the outside. He did eat a couple of those flurries, but it seems like the overall cleaner and more precise shots were from Kobayashi. So that on top of the dominant position that he held, I think that would seal the deal. So it could very well all come down to this third and final round here.
Third round, that's going to be the decisive one. 5 minutes indeed to convince the judges which of the two are going to walk away with the grand prize. And we're still looking at that cut. If you see the full screen picture here on Arabzai, that cut that he sustained in round number 1, but everything is under control. There's no bleeding, no active bleeding, obviously, in the situation now. Let's see how Kobayashi can react as well. Can he bring his A game and his A striking game back to round number 3? Is that going to be the key for victory for the Georgian fighter, do you think?
I do think so. He's kind of playing with fire with some of his drafting exchanges. I mean, he's done good now in the second round, but I just feel like when you do have such a clear path to victory, why not stay there? He's always running the risk of getting reversed when he's on the ground. See, that was a perfect leg kick. You saw the reaction that he got from Arabzai. Nice strike there as well. He's doing, and another nice right hand.
He is rocking his opponent, and he's getting ready to, there he is. He is down, and he keeps on firing, going for the face and protecting himself, Arabzai. Oh, look at that, Kobayashi. And Arabzai with some good reaction there as well.
Yeah, he's doing good trying to, close that distance. And basically when he's keeping him close like that, he can't get struck in the same way. Oh, but that knee to the body might have hurt him. It looks like he's going for a guillotine. That looks tight. That looks really tight.
Tightly applied, and Nika Kobajic. Is he on the verge of securing a second career victory out here tonight in our very first fight?
There's a tap.
And there it is. Sebastian, win number 2 for Nika Kobajic.
And how about that? The striker, Nika Kobajic.
Can in the sport, and now looks to set his sights on a new challenge, to do something else within the realm of combat sports, and that is mixed martial arts. But Sebastian, as we have seen in many, many different guises, when a polished, accomplished striker makes his way into MMA, it doesn't necessarily go smoothly. There are so many more facets to think about, and conventional wisdom would dictate that his opponent, Parvez Arabzai, would take this fight to the ground as soon as they touch gloves.
I mean, that is certainly what we would think on paper, especially when you consider the striking
win fight for Arabzai. He needs to go in there and get it done, because can he really sustain an efficient fighting career in Hexagone MMA if he stands at 0-3?
Exactly, and that would put him at a 50-50 record, which I know he doesn't want. Last time we saw him was at Hexagone MMA 6 in January of last year, so he's had about a year to refine his skills. He's very big for the division as well. But he seems to have slimmed down a little bit from his Hexagone MMA debut. No doubt, sharpening his tools, working things out. Here we have the tail of the tape.
For the wrong fight.
For the wrong fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, we can only apologize for that. Somebody hit the wrong button in the truck.
Yeah, obviously this is Jason Polidor versus Parvez Arabzai. Let's hand it off to Christophe.
Pour ce premier combat de la main card, 3 fois 5 minutes, et il vous est présenté par OVO Sécurité. Catégorie Lightweight. Dans le coin bleu, il mesure 1m83 pour 70,7 kg. 3e combat en professionnel. On le surnomme The Black Panther, Jason Polidor. Et dans le coin rouge, 1m85 pour 70,7 kg, 4 victoires, 3 défaites en professionnel, Parvez Arabzai!
There we go, tail of the tape fired up this time. You can see Polidor the elder by 6 years, ever so slight height advantage for Arabzai, but all those things are immaterial when you meet in the middle of the hexagon cage. Final checks and balances being done, and we are ready to kick things off on our main card, Sebastian.
That we are, and it needs to be said time and time again, Jason Polidor, I mean, he made his Hexagon MMA debut on about 48 hours notice, went 3 tough rounds with Nikolai Bivol in a fight that a lot of people felt that he won. He ended up losing a decision, a close decision. Here he is tonight, hoping to keep the judges out of the equation.
They're just swinging hands right now. Oh, he getting it done! Huge shots being thrown here by Arabzai. Can he get it done? Polidor trying to weather the early storm. Arabzai needs to take his time here. Slides through into Mount beautifully.
Plenty of time to work here as well.
This could be it. If he can posture, these shots are landing. If he can get some elbows in, doing so beautifully. Referee taking a long, hard look at it. Arabzai fighting like he has somewhere to be.
I mean, he came in here like a house on fire the way that he entered. Oh, heavy elbows now as well from the mount. And in excess of 4 minutes with which to work.
The Afghan saying, yes, I can. Throwing heavy leather, working for the rear naked choke. This looks deep.
Oh, I think he's got it.
Has the squeeze. Polidor looks like he's slowly losing it, trying to punch his way out. There's the tap! Just like that!
Third time was the charm for the French-Afghan Parvez Arabzai. What a performance.
And Sebastian, you have to give him credit. The degree of pressure on this young man's shoulders. As we alluded to, 0-2 in Hexagon coming into this, taking on a much more credentialed, decorated striker. However, he goes in, does not stand on ceremony, reputation, throws the heavy hand, drops Polidor, mounts him beautifully, fires off more ground and pound, finishes with a fight-ending rear naked choke. As polished and as perfect as a performance as we have seen in the career of Parvez Arabzai.
I mean, honestly, this is what I would call a burning the boats scenario. He went in there to do or die. It was all or nothing for Arabzai. You could tell by the way he entered that first striking exchange that he was either going to get knocked out or drop his opponent.
David Goggins used to say, who's going to carry the boats? We just got the answer. His name is Parvez Arabzai. There you see the fight-ending sequence. And it was a rare position to get the rear naked choke from. It was almost like an S-mounted position. Didn't necessarily have the hooks in the traditional back take, but it shows you the squeeze that he has. His second win by way of submission in his career now runs his record to 5-3, which looks considerably more impressive than the 4-4 he was looking at. And this might just be the launching pad, the catalyst, the genesis point for him to kickstart into that second phase of his career.
Oh, absolutely. This is exactly the performance he needed. And as the countryman would say, Afghanistan Zinabad.
Le vainqueur par soumission, le coin rouge, Parvez Arabzai.
Et donc on est avec Parvez Arabzai. Parvez, félicitations pour cette victoire, félicitations pour ce finish. C'était important pour toi car tu étais sur 2 défaites consécutives. Ça te fait quoi de renouer avec la victoire, le finish, devant un public exceptionnel?
Déjà, bonsoir à tous. Merci beaucoup pour le soutien. Comme ça fait longtemps, j'attendais ce combat. Et du coup, je me suis bien entraîné. C'est là les champions. Merci beaucoup Mathieu, mon coach. Merci Bachir. Merci Younes. Merci à tous. Vive l'Afghanistan, vive la France. On est tous ensemble. Allahu Akbar.
Est-ce que tu as un objectif maintenant en tête après cette victoire?
On est toujours là. Ça me manque déjà beaucoup. Et du coup, chaque jour, je m'entraîne très très dur. Mais bon, c'est un combat, c'est fini par soumission, mais je suis venu pour les KO. Et du coup, voilà, pour moi, c'est la victoire.
Bravo, et le Zénith, faites du bruit pour votre gagnant, Parvez Arabzai.
Truly spectacular performance there for Parvez Arabzai. One could not have asked for a better start to the year.
Coming up, we have an incredible bout. We have the debut of perhaps the most accomplished amateur in the history of French MMA, Theo Ulrich. He'll be taking on Remy Bourgeois.
First, another look at that intense flurry. You could tell by the way with which Arabzai was fighting, it was do or die, truly all or nothing.
But there you see from that S-mount position, that's more indicative of a position that somebody would try and work for a Kimura from, let alone a rear naked choke.
But I think he had done so much damage with the ground and pound with those elbows that it was truly just a question of time.
Absolutely huge win for Arabzai. And as I say, if he